Hello friends, and welcome back to another gardening video. In this video, I'll show how you can use your wandering Jew plant and create this very beautiful tree-like structure. It is really simple to make and it looks beautiful when you keep this as an indoor plant in any corner of your room. So let us see how we can make this wandering Jew creative decoration using things that are readily available in the house. I have used all the waste materials that I found around my house. The first thing is the container, which is this old container, and for the brush I have used this stick with a piece of cloth on top. So even for the brush I have used whatever was lying around the house, and I painted this container, but I had to give it 2 to 3 layers of the paint because the paint was a little thin, and I allowed the paint coat to dry in between. And in this manner I painted the container, and you can see it got a good finish. So even without a paintbrush you can easily paint your containers in this manner. Now that the container in which I would plant it was done, it was time to create the branch for the wandering Jew. So over here I have used these pieces of wood which I got from my garden, and because I live in an apartment I don't really have a big tree. So these are the small pieces of wood which I tied up together to create the base for the wandering Jew plant. And after tying it up with the tape, I also used a piece of micropore on top because it is kind of a paper, so the paint easily sticks to the micropore compared to the plasticky kind of tapes that we have. So giving it a layer of micropore definitely helps the paint to stick better. Then I mixed the light brown paint and a little black paint to create a deeper brown shade, which is kind of looking like a black color on the camera, but it is actually a very deep brown shade. I painted it and let it out to dry, and by the time the branch dried out, let us see what we need to do to create the packets in which we'll be planting the wandering Jew plant. If you have the jute gunny bags, then that is a really good option. Otherwise you can also use these kind of plastic gunny bags that you get, and if you don't have this also, you can also use cloth to create it. So over here I am using this plastic piece and I cut off a rectangular shape and I stitched it on the 3 sides, leaving one side open to put in the soil, etc. So in this manner you can create the tiny pouches. So over here I made this pouch, and I'm also going to show you how you can create this planter using cloth also, because all of us do not have these kind of sacks in our house. Once I stitched the 3 ends of the pouches, this is how the pouch is going to look like, and in a similar manner I'll be creating the cloth pouches. So over here I have taken a piece of cloth and I'm going to cut it into rectangular shapes, and I'm going to stitch up the 3 sides, leaving one side open, and I created these pouches. So I'll be using this. If you use the gunny sack, you have to use wet mud. For this cloth sack you can easily use dry mud. And this is the coconut husk that I am cutting into smaller pieces, and I'm adding soil with it. Using this coconut husk definitely makes the soil keep in the moisture for longer, so it is really important. If you have coco peat you can use that, but since this is just a video that I have created using all the things readily available at home, so I'm using this coconut husk instead of coco peat. And I'm going to fill in this mixture in the small pouches that I've created, and in the soil there is also a little bit of compost that I've added and a little bit of sand also. So this is the mixture that I'm going to fill in, and I'm going to fill it up in the 3 pouches that I've created. And once the pouch is filled, I'll be stitching off the free end, and in this manner I'll be creating the base in which I'll be putting the plants. The next step was to tie these pouches up on the branch that I had created. So for that I took the branch and I planted it in the planter with a little soil, and I pressed down firmly. And then once this was done, I took the pouches that I had created and I tied it up firmly with some thread. You can use plastic thread to make it stay on for longer. and in this manner I'll be adding these pouches to the 3 stronger branches, and the 2 thinner branches will be left like so, and I'll just make the wandering Jew plant climb on it. And then I added a little water on the soil so that the soil becomes a little bit firm and the branch does not move too much while I'm planting the wandering Jew plant. So making tiny holes using this pointed thing, I planted all the wandering Jew cuttings on these pouches and I tried to give it a bushy look. So this took a little bit of time because there were so many tiny pieces that I had to put in the pouch, but this is how it looks once the pouches were filled. And by the time I had finished, the plant had drooped a little bit also, but in the lower part I added a longer piece of the wandering Jew plant and I tried to put it on the branch which were thin in this manner so that it looks like it had climbed up on the branch. So on 2 of the branches, thinner ones on the lower side, I did this thing, and on the top part I made the pouches and I put the wandering Jew plant. Then I gave it a nice drench of water. In this manner I sprayed water, and within a few hours the plants revived, and this is how it looks. So in this manner you can easily create these beautiful miniature trees using your wandering Jew plant. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you like this very easy and creative wandering Jew planting idea, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and thanks for watching.